yeah, you can dry them and store them in jars and use them like you would any bean, kidney beans and things. Right. So what are you here to do for us today?
Second fix.
Excellent.
Your electrics. Hopefully, yes, get the sockets on the wall.
But don't they look amazing? And I've got the second batches in now. And we'll see if Tony enjoys them. I've just met one of my customers and one of my followers. I'm down in my potager and I've come to pick some fresh raspberries for my breakfast. I can't believe I'm still picking fresh raspberries in November, and they're beauties. Simple pleasures are the best. Getting so overgrown, I'm looking forward to taking this netting off. It does make it difficult to actually pick them as well. But yeah, I'm going to wait until these raspberries are finished fruiting before I do that. I don't know how long that's going to be. There's not so many now left to ripen. Oh, hello, pussycat. Oh, you are so cute. Yeah. Oh, I spot a juicy one. Just there, lovely. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough. Yes. Just enough to go with my yoghurt. Yeah, I think we've got all the good ones. Wow, look at these. These are parsnips that I've left to go to seed, so I'm going to have to start collecting some. Look, the seeds are almost ready there. So yeah, I'm going to start collecting some of that and put it upside down in a brown paper bag. And then I've got 3 parsnip seeds. Excellent.
Fill that with concrete and then set touchstone slabs into that, grout them, and then the water will just run off all the time. And then I've got things I've got from John around here. I'm going to make a balustrade around that. And that's what's causing that. See that big nasty crack down there? Yeah. That's what's causing that.
It's the weight of that.
Yeah, you see the angle on that top there?
Yeah.
But all that water has come off of there and ingressed into that timber up there.
Oh, and then going
And
into
that's
the wall.
why they put that awful channel line in there. They've cut into the timber, so this front timber here is almost coming away.
Oh, I see.
So I'm going to cut that, dig all that handrail out, that's going down this sort of angle, cut all that out, replace that timber. Then I can refix this, but further this way, back into it. And all I'm putting back up there is nowhere near the weight that's up there at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's why I put this in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because that there, that was bone out. And there's no way that single post is taken off of that platform there, those concrete steps, and that concrete platform up there. There's nothing holding them steps up hardly. That's the next project. But I should enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's got some method in it. You enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really doing all the steps.
Tony's giving John a catch up on where our projects are. John's back to carry on with some stuff in Jeep number 2.
And I'll use these to make a platform around it.
Ah, you're going to put those up there, are you?
Yeah.
And you got those from England?
No, I bought these. You remember I told you about John?
Yeah.
These were around his, so I bought some equipment. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of them, but I'm sure I'll make it.
Oh well, if you can't, nobody can.
No.
Exactly.
I bought this.
I'm sure we'll have some more Juliet balconies to do yet.
I bought this poster saw. That little band saw. That table saw. And a big router table that's out there that a router fits underneath it. So you can push your wood through and make your own skirtings and things like that.
that'd be good.
Mm.
Yeah, you bought a few things off of Michelle, didn't you?
Quite excited about doing that up there.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time I was here. That was
Yeah.
the weight of it and everything.
Oh yeah.
That is
It's Tan's fed up with painting, you see. He's excited about a new project.
Yeah, no, I understand Tony exactly on painting.
Yes.
It's a necessity, but by heck, I'd rather it wasn't. I wish
But bless him, he doesn't just put the paintbrush down and go and start a new project. He makes sure he finishes
No, I
things.
can't do that. It's got to be finished. So that trend router bolts on underneath,
Okay.
and you push timber
You
through.
can just push it through.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's going to be useful.
Something else I didn't read, but I'd read it.
Yeah, but now you've got it, it'll be really useful.
Yeah.
And it'll save you a small fortune on skirting, and you can make your own.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I justified it actually. Yeah.
It will pay for itself.
Yeah.
Right. So what are you here to do for us today?
Second fix.
Excellent.
Of all your electrics. Hopefully, yes. Get the sockets on the wall, lights on the wall,
That'll be good.
and power it up.
That'll please Tony, we're nearly there now.
But the transformation is amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do a before and after.
Yeah.
Obviously I've got footage right the way through, and this one's taken a while.
Kind of do a bit of collage.
Yeah.
Before and after, and
Yeah, I'm going to try and do a vlog just to do that, just for this little project. Each project is a bit like that. It's hard to think back to where you started.
no. And the trouble is, when the time passes, you don't realise quite how far you've come, and a lot of the work is now hidden.
Yes. But yeah, it's going to be lovely when it's finished. Not long. Right, it's time to chop back the runner beans now. They've finished producing beans, apart from the ones that I've left on here, as you can see, to dry out. So I'm going to chop those back. I'll hang them up somewhere inside the barn so they can finish drying out, and then I can collect the seeds. There's going to be some big seeds in some of these. Right, and while I'm out here, these were the baby leeks you saw me plant. They're doing really well. And the garlics that I planted are all sprouting. I haven't got around to planting any more yet, but that's another job for this week. But look how they've grown already. So while I'm here, there's a few weeds in there that I'll just pick out and keep that tidy. I'm going to do the same that I did with the other beans, and I'm going to cut them off at the roots and leave the roots in the soil, because that helps to feed the soil. I think as there's so much of it and there's so many beans on here, I think I'm just going to pick off the beans as I find them and then compost the leaves, because it's going to be too big for me to hang it all up as it is in the barn. I can hang these up in a string bag and they'll dry lovely. So it's just so that they get the air around them so that they can dry properly. But yeah, they're brilliant. While we're just here, on that tomato plant, which is looking a little bit sorry for itself in the middle, it has new sprouts, still with flowers. So I'm going to try and overwinter some of these. I'm going to pot some of them up because they're quite easy to root, and then use my little plastic zip-up greenhouse thing to see if I can overwinter a few for a few early tomatoes next year. Also, I'm going to do the same with some of my pepper plants. I've got quite a few beans on this bit. Wow, look at that size of that one. Excellent. Lots are already dried. Now, I don't think they'll survive, but I am going to leave a tiny bit of greenery on some of the stalks because it's been so mild that last year I had lettuce seedlings that survived the winter, and they're not winter hardy. So there's a chance that these beans may survive. So I'm going to leave a few of them with a few leaves on. Well, the cucumbers have come to an end quite a long time ago, but there's still a couple of little ones that you wouldn't want to eat. But they're very ripe, so I'm going to save that one for seeds for next year. What I will do with that is it's already sort of fermented a little, and I will open it up and spread it on some kitchen paper and let them dry on the kitchen paper, and then next spring I will just rip up the kitchen paper with the seeds still attached and plant it. Huge bunches of them here. You're nosy, aren't you? So pretty. Come to help. Well, you come to play. You like to chase things, don't you? What are you up to, hey? This was the bit that Tony had to screw extra lumps of wood onto when it all collapsed, which is why a lot of it's trapped between two pieces of wood here. I'll just get out what I can, the rest will rot away. Tony's going to alter that for me anyway in the spring, I think. What that noise was?
Hey?
What that noise was? Oh. Yeah, she comes to visit me, doesn't she?
Yeah. We're very in favour today.
She's what?
She's very in favour. She usually lives
No, she always comes to see me in the garden. You can save the beans and dry them, and you can eat them. Obviously I've saved them so that I can plant more for next year, but I've probably got too many, although I didn't grow enough to dry them. But yeah, you can dry them and store them in jars and use them like you would any bean, kidney beans and things, in soups and stews and stuff. Maybe I'll do that next year because I've got a lot of seeds. I could grow a bigger crop. Aren't they pretty? Right, I'm just going to give this bed a bit of a tidy up. Obviously there's quite a lot of weeds in there. I'll pull those out. I can't take out the last of the squash yet. That's butternut squash because they're still ripening. I didn't use that little one. I'm not sure if that's going to be any good. I'll try and put it in a casserole or something. It's cute though. That one is still growing. And I'm going to cut that one off. Ah, well, that's tidied that up a lot. As I said, I've left a few leaves on some of the beanstalks. And we'll have a little experiment and see if any of those survive. But I'm going to leave those in the ground anyway because of the nutrients they provide. There's a little patch of tomatoes up there that have seeded themselves over here. So I'm going to leave those for the time being, and then I'll find a few little pots, and those I might try to overwinter. I'm going to leave the tomato at the moment because it's still, I'm still cropping tomatoes and there's still green ones, so it's not looking very pretty, but it's still providing me with tomatoes. Now I've just got to get rid of some of this rubbish. Right. Now this was where I planted lots of leek seedlings, and when I first planted them they were doing okay. Now yes, there are rather a lot of weeds in here which obviously don't help, but a lot of them seem to have maybe been eaten. They're certainly not thriving, so I'm thinking I'm going to replant them somewhere else because this is the bed by the wall, so perhaps they're not getting enough light. So yeah, I think I'll probably replant what I can see, but there's certainly not 50 of them anymore, which is a shame. I could try and plant a few more seedlings. It's a bit late now. Yeah, I think I will probably try and plant a few more seedlings as well. But yeah, if I dig up the ones that I can rescue and maybe replant them over where the other ones are doing really well. Well, I managed to save them. They're not looking very healthy, but I think if I plant them somewhere else I might be able to rescue them. There's about 25 or 30 there, just certainly not the 50 that I planted out originally. Well, I've transplanted the leeks that I could save. I managed to save about 20 of them, I think. A few I've planted in, there was a couple of little gaps in those ones. They'll perk up a bit. And I've carried on planting garlic, so I've finished the rows here. I've done 3 rows here and a couple more rows in here between the beetroots and on the end there. I now have planted 122 garlic bulbs, I think, so if I end up with 100 out of that, that would be brilliant. That would mean a couple a week. So I'm going to try and plant some more leek seeds. I'm not sure if there's time for them to grow, but it's quite mild here, so I think I will plant some more leek seeds. Keep me going through the winter. We now have all lights fitted. We have sockets, light switches. It's exciting.
Helps to finish the room off.
Ah, we have the heaters connected up. Oh, where's that one going? What's that one for?
If you put a TV up here, you've got a socket.
Ah, right. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Right. Oh, we did already have sockets there. Oh, look, Tony's done door handles. What's on here? Right, he's still painting. Yeah. More sockets and light switches and lights in the bathroom. Hey, there's one to go on the wall yet. Oh, we've got the extractor fan. Wow. We've got the towel rail. That's not connected yet, but it's on the wall. Alright. He's put the door stop in as well to stop the door bashing on that. So we're going shopping tomorrow for the bathroom stuff and the kitchen stuff. I'm loving this blue grey against the stone tiles. That goes really well. And it also goes well with the dark wood. Right. I still haven't done the pointing. I will be doing that very soon. I've just come for a quick look round the Emmaus in Chateau. It's very chilly today. The weather suddenly turned. Damn, it's November. Right, we are looking for a few things at the moment. Decorative things for the gîte. Maybe some pictures. A small table. We're still looking for a wood burner. Oh, and we're looking for a metal framed bed.
Beds and go inside, right?
Okay, because it is a bit chilly, isn't it? Lots of projects out here. Tow bar, anyone? Ah, no, they're too new. Nice one.
It is, if you wanted a single bed, yeah.
Yes, the sun's out. The sun's quite warm, but when you're out of the sun, oh. There's a tapestry in a frame. I don't like the frame. Quite like the tapestry though, with the riders.
Yeah.
No, it's cross stitch. Someone's made that. It's cross stitch.
Is this?
Yeah, it's embroidery. You can see the little holes actually, but yeah, someone's obviously spent a long time doing that.
Right.
It's a bit like painting by numbers, only it's sewing by numbers.
Right, anyway.
There's that one.
Yes.
Don't like the frame again.
Well, then it's a project then.
That's a nice colour.
That's good quality.
This frame is rather nice, isn't it?
Yes.
But do we want a beachy seasidey scene? Usual suspects out here. Right, let's go and see what's inside. What is it, like a carpet? It's very colourful, isn't it?
How much
I don't think it's the right style this time. That's unusual, isn't it?
So we're not looking for that, are we?
No, I know. But it is lovely. Oh, it's pretty. €230 and it's got, well, I think that's like a walnut. And it's got a drawer at the bottom as well. Very pretty. Love the carving. And the colour is gorgeous, like golden. It looks more yellow on here, but it's like a golden wood. How much is that? How much is that? No price?
No, I can see.
It's got a couple of drops missing here, or broken here. It's glass. It's like, it's not brass, is it? It's like almost like painted metal. Yeah, it's not super quality, is it? It's quite striking though.
Brand new, of course, but it's...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not antique, it's not. And you need to find some extra drops. Oh, there was a mirror on these stairs, and that's a particularly nice one, isn't it? I do like these type of mirrors with the columns on the sides, but that's lovely. Nice colourful display up here. Right. That's €12, look. It's not a lot of money, is it? Oh, I like the dish with the flowers. €7. There's a lot of light fittings here, isn't there? Okay. I like the bowl. I do really like that. Has it got a price? Well, it's probably got a spider in it. Oh, it's €10. Wow, there's a huge amount of light fittings. All very similar, those ones. That's very strange. It's a little dish made to look like a conkle or a chestnut. Who's that little voice coming through the window? I found something I want. Some lovely pots here. Quite like the blue and white one. Let's have a look. That is €6. Let's say Czechoslovakia. Can't forget my glasses on again. Yeah, it does.
Are you opening up recording?
Why? Why's that?
I follow you, I watch you all the time.
How do you?
Yes.
Could I film you? I've just met one of my customers. One of my followers. What's your name?
So,
Oh, hello, Sue. Whereabouts do you live? Round
Blanc.
here?
Blanc.
Balam.
Barbara.
Well, how far away is that from here?
It's about an
Oh, it's quite a trek.
hour. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, just over there.
Have you seen my new hairdo?
I spotted it the other night. I thought it looks really nice. That. Makes you look
Ah.
a lot younger.
Oh, pardon. Thank you.
Not quite fancy.
We're off to one at the weekend. There's an antique fair in Chateau
Oh, is it?
on Sunday morning.
Right.
But that's a bit more pricey, but it's nicer things.
It's alright if it's sunny, isn't it? I wonder, do you know what I mean?
Tony,
Eh?
this lady watches the vlog. That's my Tony there.
Never stops, does it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I quite often bump into
watched her day
people.
one.
And, oh, bless you.
I only spotted you with your hairdo.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. I hope you find your table.
Huh?
Yeah.
I know.
Do you like it?
Yes, I do. I like the blue in it. I do like it. Yeah. Oh, have a look at the other pictures while we're here. Oh, sorry, you want me to ask? I thought you was going to ask. I was just looking at the rest of the pictures. I'm after a nice piece of fabric to upholster a stool, so I don't need a lot. It's for the bedroom of the sheets. Lots of fabrics, but not one that grabs me. Not colour-wise. That's very pretty, but it wouldn't be very practical. Could we get him to have that? So that might work. What that's going to do for now. That's an unusual set. It's rather nice actually. Carved backs. And it's got claw feet. How unusual is that? Something like that would be nice in a conservatory or something. But yeah, not super comfy. Right, we're going to try fried green tomatoes today for our breakfast. So as you can see, I've got some French bread that I've saved and left to go dry, which I'm going to whiz in the food processor and make breadcrumbs. Then obviously the other ingredients are some green tomatoes. Anyway, some eggs, some flour, and then some flavourings. Well, I've picked out, I think I'm going to go with the oregano and sage, and then some black pepper and salt. So I'm going to do a herby one. I've got some paprika there, but you could use garlic powder, mustard powder, any other flavourings that you wanted to. I've never made these before, so this is a new one for me. But yeah, it looks like it's a good way to use up some of those green tomatoes that we've got. Although you can see the one in the middle is trying to ripen a bit. But these are the big fat ones that I've got. What I'm going to do is slice these up. I'm going to whiz the breadcrumbs in the food processor, and then I'm going to set myself up a station with a bowl with the eggs in and the flour and the breadcrumbs. Oh, you'll also need some oil for this to fry them. I'm going to fry them in a shallow pan in quite deep oil. So there, I've just cracked the 2 eggs into a little container. I'm going to whisk those up with a fork. 2 eggs because there's 2 of us, so I mean you may need more eggs than this. And then I'm just going to chuck the eggshells in the compost. Let's get rid of those. There's my breadcrumbs, easy to make. I just left the bread, I left it wrapped in a little bit of kitchen paper, or you can leave it in a brown bag, just on the side in the kitchen for 2 or 3 days. And then just break it into a few pieces and whiz it in the food processor. If you don't have bread that you can make, you can use packet ones, it doesn't really matter, but I prefer fresh ones. I've added a dash of milk, whisked up the eggs, and then I've added some freshly ground black pepper into the eggs. I've put the flour, I've just used what they call multi-use flour here, all-purpose flour, into there, and I've added salt and mixed that in. So there's my salt and pepper incorporated, and I'm just going to incorporate my other herbs into my breadcrumbs. I'm going to put that in a flat tray as well so it's easier to use. And I'm going to slice my tomatoes up. So I've rinsed the tomatoes and patted them dry. I'm just going to slice the tops off because that will be a bit tough. And I'm going to slice them into quite thick slices. Oh, stalk doesn't want to come out of that one. I'll chop him off. So I'm going to get rid of the bit with the stalk on it. That'll all go in the compost as well. And slice them into reasonably thick slices so that they don't disintegrate while they're cooking. I've got 3 out of that big tomato there, and I discard that bit. They look really pretty, don't they, on the inside, where they've started to ripen up. Any little flecks, I'm just going to take that off. A little fleck there. There we are. Alright, save wasting too much, I'm just going to take that little piece out of the middle rather than slice it down again. That'll be fine, that'll hold together, that's good. I've started slicing up the tomatoes, quite thick slices, and I've just took any little nicks off of the skin I'm discarding the tops and the bottoms. That's going in the compost. Right, I'm going to put some herbs in there and some paprika. I'm going to go for all the flavours. Okay, and I'm going to mix it all up. So this is some smoked paprika, like a bit of a kick in our food. So there, we've got some oregano. Where are we? There we are. Yeah, so I've already added in some smoked paprika. This is a nice dash of oregano. If I had fresh oregano, I would use that as well. And a dash of sage, but this is very good dried because it mixes in well with the breadcrumbs. So there we have it. We have flour seasoned with salt. We have egg, a dash of milk, whisked up seasoned with cracked black pepper, and then we have breadcrumbs whizzed in a food processor, and that I have seasoned with paprika, oregano and sage. So now it's just a case of breading all these up. So we're going to dip the tomatoes firstly in the flour, then in the egg, then in the breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to shallow fry this. I'm going to put my oil on to warm up while I'm doing this. So I've got quite a deep pan there because I'm going to put a reasonable amount of oil in so that they probably float. So about an inch of oil I'm going to use, but then you can strain it and reuse it afterwards. There we are. I'm going to put that on to warm up, and then I will test it before I fry these by putting in an extra little piece of the bread. I'll break it off and put it in and see if it crisps up. Right, seasoning mixed in with the breadcrumbs, lovely. Flour, egg, breadcrumbs. So I'm just transferring them to a plate on the end here. Do some little ones. Okay. Never ever had fried green tomatoes. I don't think Tony has either, so we will see what his verdict is. Now, Tony loves cooked tomatoes with the breakfast. I'm not always so keen on cooked tomatoes, but we will see. This is different because they're a little bit wet normally. I think these are going to be a bit crunchy. This is a great what I call using up recipe because I'm using up the old bread, which we wouldn't normally use, although I do tend to try and save it and use it for something. I should be using some more of that later to make some chestnut stuffing. Right. I'll carry on with these and then I'll show you once the pan's hot. We'll cook them up. Right, last one being done. I probably could have got a couple more out of this mixture, but there's not too much gone to waste there. Well, there's plenty here for me and Tony. Yeah. Stick as many breadcrumbs on there as we can. Okay. So we have a nice, here we are, plate full of breaded sliced tomatoes ready to go, and I've got very sticky fingers, so I've got to wash. So while I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up a little bit more, I was just thinking about all the things that I use old bread for, and in France you pretty much buy your French stick every day, and it does dry up quite quickly, so although it can be toasted the next day, I don't like to waste too much, so I do actually use this. I chop these up and make croutons, either in a frying pan or baking them in the oven. That's an easy one. And as I said earlier, I use it to make stuffing with, and you can even use it to bulk out things like stews and casseroles. You can add a few breadcrumbs into the mix and helps thicken the sauce up. Obviously, breadcrumbing anything like we have today, lots of vegetables can be breadcrumbed like this. And it obviously makes it a bit more filling and saves on waste. So if any of you have got any more ideas of what you use it for, I mean, in the UK we do make a mean bread pudding. It's quite a stodgy pudding with fruits in it, but I'm not sure that French bread would be great for doing that. And we do make bread and butter pudding as a dessert from sliced bread. But yeah, comment put a comment below and tell me if you've got some other ways of using up stale bread, because I hate wasting things. Right. While oil is heating up, I'm going to test it by putting a piece of the bread in. You can see a slight shimmer on the top, so I think it's almost ready. A good sizzle. That's ready to start cooking. Right, there's quite a lot here for two of us. This is a dinner plate sized plate. But we're going to do our best. We're not having anything to accompany this time. We're just testing out this recipe. I suppose you could have a fried egg with them. Any sort of cooked breakfast. Beans, bacon. But yeah, we're just going to have these as a breakfast on their own. Oh, we can hear it sizzling. And what I'm going to do is just cook them for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to turn them over. I'm going to have to do a couple of batches, so I've got a warm plate ready. I'm just hoping that the crumb is going to stay stuck to it, but I think it is. We've got a nice sizzle going on there. So I'm not going to touch it too much because otherwise I'll knock all the breadcrumbs off. So the first batch is done. So I've cooked them for about 3 minutes on one side before I turn them over. That helps to crisp up the coating a little bit. And then I've turned them over 2 or 3 times as they've cooked. I think they've cooked for about 6 or 7 minutes. And the thing that I noticed is that they do, once they're starting to cook in the middle, obviously they get more floppy because they're very solid when they go in the pan. So as they're just coming up to be cooked, they get a little bit softer, and that I think is the time to take them out before all the breadcrumbs fall off. But don't they look amazing? I've got the second batches in now, and we'll see if Tony enjoys them, or see if I enjoy them. So here we have the finished product. Tony's going to taste test it. What's the verdict, Tony?
Very good.
Excellent. Have you ever had these before?
Nope.
So this is a new one for both of us.
It is. It's very good.
Right, we're going to enjoy our breakfast now. Well, I think that was a success. It's clear up time now. But just to show you, I had a bit more French bread left. It's not really enough for me to make my chestnut stuffing, but I have whizzed it up in the food processor because that's already out and had breadcrumbs in, and so I won't have to wash that twice. I'm just going to tuck this in the freezer, and what will I use this for? Well, that's probably just enough there for next time I make a cauliflower cheese, to put a crumbly topping on, a breadcrumb topping. So again, I shall mix that with some savoury salt and pepper, maybe some herbs, and I'll sprinkle that over the top of my cauliflower cheese and put it back in the oven for a little while, and it just helps bulk it out a little bit. So out of that one French stick, obviously we ate some as a sandwich, though that was the leftovers. Now that French stick I think cost about 59 cents. 59 cents is about the same in dollars, and in the UK that's about 65 pence. And from that we've had a sandwich with cheese when it was fresh. I've utilised it to make the fried green tomatoes, breadcrumb on that. I've now whizzed this up with the rest of the breadcrumbs to put on top of a cauliflower cheese bake, and I've also made croutons to put on top of a homemade soup. So not bad from one baguette. So I shall just pop this in the freezer as it is, and then when I'm ready to use that, when I'm cooking a roast dinner and making cauliflower cheese, that will come out of the freezer and that can go straight on top. And then that could be mixed with some Parmesan cheese and crumbled over the top. I could also use it for coquille Saint-Jacques, which is scallops, where they put the crusty bread topping. lots of things. But that'll be in the freezer as plain breadcrumbs, and then I'll add some seasoning to it when I use it. So what he's doing is he's using that one at the front of the quadrant. He's making sure that that one's in the right position, and then he will adjust the others from that. He will not adjust this one.
Right.
Ah, you're looking at the lantern.
We need a pair.
We've got something similar, but it's got coloured glass in it. You need a pair.
Upper. Actually, a little wood burner in there.
Oh. Why do you have to keep going out and stoking it up every 20 minutes?
Exactly, so that does not work.
But aren't they beautiful? Look at them. They are beautiful.
I would like to go pray. Could you? It is definitely.
Oh, I like the picture of the fox.
Nice, isn't it?
Hmm. The horses' heads are quite good as well. Yeah, it's got a lot of foxing on the fox.